This new Cadillac looks expensive, drives smooth, and feels like $1,000,000. But here's the twist. It's an EV, and no one will ever know. That's not a joke. The 2025 Cadillac Optiq doesn't scream electric. It doesn't have a face like a robot vacuum. It doesn't accelerate like a roller coaster. It doesn't cost $80,000 or come with a cult following. It's just a really good luxury SUV. One that happens to run on electricity. After spending weeks with the $58,915 Optiq Sport 2, I can tell you this. Cadillac didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They just built a better one. No flashy gimmicks, no over-the-top power, no punishing ride, just sharp design, real-world range, and a cabin that feels like it should cost $20,000 more. And in a market where EVs are either too expensive, too intense, or too weird, that's exactly what's missing. So who is this for? Anyone who wants a luxury SUV that's refined, efficient, and future-proof, without the EV fanfare. Let's break down why the Optiq might be the most underrated electric SUV on the market. The biggest surprise about the Optiq isn't what it is, it's what it isn't. It's not a Tesla. It's not trying to be. There's no 3-second 0 to 60, no yoke steering, no touchscreen-only controls, no $15,000 full self-driving upsell. Instead, Cadillac took a deep breath and asked, what if an EV just felt like a really good car? And the answer is right here. The Optiq delivers 300 horsepower and 354 pound-feet of torque. Not jaw-dropping, but more than enough. It hits 60 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds, which is quicker than the Lexus RX 350, Lincoln Nautilus, and even the sportier RX 500h F Sport. But the real story isn't speed, it's smoothness. From the moment you pull away, the Optiq glides. No gear shifts, no engine drone, no turbo lag, just silent, seamless power. It's the kind of refinement that makes you forget you're in an EV, until you realize you haven't filled up in 3 weeks. And in a world where EVs are often too exciting, too loud, or too jarring, the Optiq's calm demeanor is a breath of fresh air. This isn't a car for thrill seekers. It's for people who want to arrive relaxed. Section 3. Performance that makes sense. Let's be honest, most luxury SUV buyers don't need 600 horsepower. They don't want to pin their passengers to the seats every time they press the gas. They want to drive comfortably, handle curves with confidence, and not feel every bump in the road. The Optiq gets that. Its dual-motor AWD system, 210 horsepower up front, 90 horsepower in the rear, isn't designed to win drag races. It's designed to eliminate compromise. The result? A 5.5-second 0 to 60 time that's quick enough to merge on the highway or pass a slow truck, but not so aggressive that it shocks you. The quarter mile comes in at 14.4 seconds at 95.2 miles per hour. Solid, not spectacular. Braking is average. 124 feet from 60 miles per hour. Not class-leading, but safe and predictable. Where the Optiq shines is in how it handles. The ride is firm, definitely firmer than the plush Lincoln Nautilus, but it's tuned with precision. Body roll is minimal. The chassis stays flat in corners. And despite recording only 0.78 G of lateral grip, it feels more agile than the numbers suggest. It changes direction with ease, carves clean lines, and never feels top-heavy. And here's the kicker. There are no adaptive dampers, no air suspension, no fancy electronics, just steel springs and passive shocks. Yet it rides better than the new Model Y. That's engineering discipline. That's Cadillac saying, we don't need gimmicks to be good. One of the best things about EVs is regenerative braking, and the Optiq does it better than most. GM has fine-tuned this system across its EV lineup, and in the Optiq, it's near perfect. You get 3 regen modes: light, medium, and high. The medium setting is the sweet spot. Strong enough to enable true one-pedal driving, where lifting off the accelerator slows the car all the way to a complete stop, but smooth enough that you don't get that jerky head toss some EVs deliver. High mode is for hardcore one-pedalers who want max energy recovery. Light is for those who want it to feel like a gas car. The best part? Your selected mode stays saved, even after you turn the car off. No reselecting every morning. And if you want to tweak it on the fly, there's a dedicated button on the touchscreen. In daily driving, stop-and-go traffic, city streets, highway exits, this system saves your brake pads, extends range, and makes driving effortless. After a week with the Optiq, I barely touched the brake pedal. That's not just convenience. That's a better driving experience. Look at the Optiq. Really look. The sharp LED lighting. ... The clean body lines. The flush door handles. The 20-inch wheels wrapped in Continental all seasons. Now guess the price. If you said $75,000, you're not alone. The Optiq looks expensive, and that's on purpose. Cadillac didn't go wild with futuristic shapes or sci-fi lighting. Instead, they delivered modern classicism, a design that's bold but not bizarre, sleek but not silly. Up front, the blacked-out grille, yes, even though it's an EV, gives it presence. The profile is athletic. The rear has clean horizontal taillights and a subtle spoiler. But the real magic is inside. The cabin feels like a cross between a Volvo and a German luxury SUV. Scandinavian minimalism meets American craftsmanship. There's a massive 33-inch curved OLED display that dominates the dash. Same as in the Lyriq, but even more impressive in this smaller SUV. The touchscreen is responsive, the graphics are crisp, and the layout is intuitive. The materials. Real-feeling metal accents on the vents and door handles. Recycled woven fabric on the doors and dash. Eco-friendly, but upscale. The seats are supportive, the second row is roomy for a compact SUV, and the cargo space is practical. It's not perfect. The sloping roofline eats into headroom for taller passengers, and the floor is slightly high, but overall, it's a space you'll want to spend time in. And again, it looks like it costs way more than $58K. Let's talk range. The EPA says 302 miles. In our 75-mile-per-hour highway test, we got 235. That's a 22% drop. Not great, but not unusual for an EV. For context, many EVs lose 25 to 30% at highway speeds. The Optiq's 85.0 kilowatt-hour NCMA battery is efficient, and the 103 mpge combined rating proves it. But the real story is charging. The max DC fast charging rate is 150 kilowatts, not class-leading. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 hits 240 kilowatts. But realistic. In our test, we added 119 miles of range in 30 minutes. That's enough to turn a lunch break into a long-haul enabler. No, it's not 10-minute charging, but for most people, it's enough. And at home, plug in overnight and you wake up to a full battery every morning. No gas stations, no fumes, no noise. The convenience is real. And with EV tax credits shrinking or gone in many states, the Optiq's value proposition becomes even stronger. It's priced identically to gas-powered rivals like the Lexus RX, Audi Q5, and Lincoln Nautilus, but with lower running costs, smoother power, and zero tailpipe emissions. That's not just smart, it's strategic. Base price, $57,090. As tested, $58,915. That's not cheap, but it's not overpriced either. For context, a fully loaded Lexus RX 500 HF Sport starts around $65K. A comparably equipped Audi Q5, around $60K. The Ford Mustang Mach-E GT, $63K, and quicker, but harsher and less refined. The Optiq sits in a sweet spot. It's priced like a normal luxury SUV, not a premium EV, and that's revolutionary. Most electric vehicles come with a green tax. You pay more for the tech, the novelty, the brand halo. Not here. Cadillac is saying you shouldn't have to pay extra to go electric. And they're right. The Optiq doesn't need to be faster, flashier, or more expensive to win. It just needs to be better. And it is. The standard features are generous. The tech is modern. The warranty is solid. Unlike some EV startups, Cadillac has dealerships, service networks, and decades of luxury credibility. You're not buying a science experiment. You're buying a Cadillac. So who's the Optiq for? It's not for the guy who wants to show off his 3-second launches. It's not for the Tesla fan who lives for over-the-air updates and autopilot. It's for the person who wants a great car, one that happens to be electric. The executive who commutes 50 miles a day and wants silence and comfort. The parent who needs space, safety, and reliability. The driver who values design, refinement, and real-world usability over specs on a spreadsheet. This is the EV for people who don't want to talk about EVs. The one they can buy without explaining why it's worth the price. The one their spouse won't roll their eyes at. The one that looks good in the driveway and feels even better on the road. It's the anti-hype EV. And in a market drowning in noise, that's exactly what we need. The 2025 Cadillac Optiq isn't trying to change the world. It's just trying to be the best version of what a luxury SUV should be. And in that mission, it succeeds. It's not the fastest, it's not the cheapest, it's not the most futuristic, but it's complete. It has great design, real-world range, smooth performance, a serene ride, a cabin that feels luxurious without trying too hard. And it's priced fairly. No EV penalty, no brand tax. If you've ever looked at an EV and thought, it's cool, but I just want a nice car, the Optiq is your answer. It's the first electric SUV that doesn't feel like an electric SUV. And that might be its greatest achievement. So yes, this Cadillac crushes as a luxury SUV. Just don't tell anyone it's an EV. They might not believe you anyway. Would I recommend the Optiq? Absolutely. Not because it's electric, not because it's fast, but because it's good. After 10 years of EVs being either too extreme or too undercooked, the Optiq feels like the first one that's just right. If you're shopping for a Lexus, Audi, or Lincoln, and you're even slightly curious about electric, this should be on your list. Drop a comment below. Would you buy an EV that doesn't act like one? Smash that like button if you want more honest EV reviews. And subscribe, because we're testing the future one real-world drive at a time. Until next time, drive smart, stay smooth,